Well, good morning everyone, soon to be the noon, which is the kick-off time for this big game for the Hammers and their opposition, the Rams, up at Derby County today at the Moor Farm Training Centre, and it's a Premier League Cup semi-final for these under-18 sides. West Ham have never got to this stage in this tournament before, so it's a big game for them, as it would be for anyone approaching this late stage in the competition. A position in the final on the cards for either of these sides. And West Ham, of course, coming into this game off the back of a 2-2 draw with Manchester United. That was in the quarter-final. They obviously then had that game followed by a draw and a win in their domestic league. Derby County, on the other end, had a more convincing quarter-final win, albeit less dramatic than what was experienced at Rush Green at the beginning of February. Of course, Derby County beat their opposition Fulham 4-0 to book their spot into this competition. And we know what a good side Fulham can be at the academy level. They had some joy against the under-21s back in November. So for Derby County to just brush them aside like that, 4-0, really does show what they've got on the table. Of course, we're here up in Derby. The draw went in favour of the Rams, so they didn't have to make that trip up into the Midlands. And of course, kickoff is just 4 minutes away here at the Moor Farm Training Centre. Of course, the last squad of young Rams to reach this stage of the competition was in the 2018-19 season, where they were defeated to Middlesbrough in extra time. That year, Derby County beat Liverpool on goal difference to win the Premier League North before facing Arsenal in the national final. And who was playing for Arsenal that afternoon? Well, it was Bukayo Saka, who even scored a brace against Derby County. But his brace wasn't enough to stop Derby County from being crowned champions. So this side, albeit it'll be a very different side to what was fielded out in 2018-19, the club, we'll say, do have a track record, a successful one in this competition within the last 5 or 6 years. And this will be your Derby County lineup to face your young Hammers. Just 2 changes made by their coach, Danny May, since their 4-0 victory against Fulham. In comes Isaac Gordon, the number 3 and defender, alongside the attacker Cruz Allen. They're joined with the 9 other players who, of course, started that game. I'll run you through them now. It's Harley Price, Tom Marriott, Isaac Gordon, of course, Marcel Toza, Rio Canaville, Adisa Osiinde, who is the captain, Cruz Allen, Demain Augustian, Charles Agbodazakizu, Owen Eames and Justin Oguntolu. The bench for the young Rams: Harvey Rees, Brady Connell-Webster, Marley Mintus, Dantel Hodges and James Ward. So your lineup: Loris Coggins' side, starting with Lanre Owesu in goal, who made his debut for the under-21s last week, funnily enough, against Derby County. He kept a clean sheet in their 1-0 victory up at Derby. They'll be looking to try and replicate that result this afternoon. Jethro Medine, of course. It's an unchanged back 5 from Loris Coggins since the quarterfinal game. Jethro Medine, Rayan Oyabade, Ezra Mayers, Gollum Beckis and Amika Adiele from right to left. Keeping his spot in midfield is, of course, the wonder man this season, Preston Fearon. So in comes Riley Hagen in midfield. No Gabriel Caliste, but Alicia Sawonmi is in the team with Josh Ajala, and of course coming in alongside Riley Hagen is Josh Landers. Substitutions: Chinaza Nwosu, the player who scored the winning penalty against Manchester United, he finds himself on the bench, as does Finlay Hooper, who of course has played more so for the under-18s in their domestic league, with Aaron Kamara, Majid Balogun and Andre Dyke completing the bench, who Loris Coggins may have to call upon depending on how this game goes. So just a minute away. Derby County, as you can see to the right. West Ham United not in the frame as things stand. Perhaps waiting in the wings, just on the touchline, having final last words before this semi-final in the Premier League Under-18 Cup. What a chance for silverware. Of course, both these sides were defeated in the FA Youth Cup. West Ham United earlier than Derby County. They fell short to Southampton recently, who dumped them out of the cup. And of course, West Ham had that miserable game up at Grimsby, that 1-0 defeat, which cut short their FA Youth Cup campaign. But they've both got an opportunity to end this season with silverware, and it's this game that will matter ever so much to try and finish the season on a strong, strong high. Of course, going off on the game, there was delighted figures in that West Ham lineup, who of course managed to beat Manchester United in that topsy-turvy game. Of course, they went a goal down and they made it 2-1. Josh Ajala scoring late on in the first half, and Gabriel Caliste and getting an early second goal in the second half. And then Manchester United fought back. We went to extra time, which was goalless but extremely open. You could definitely see they were tired legs, and you don't blame them. And it was a penalty shootout, which of course started off with Swansea having his hit past the post and missed. And of course, Manchester United ended up not scoring two of theirs, which then meant
aggressive from the start,
control.
Yes, aggressive control.
Their spot in the semi.
2 lines in, lads. Game momentum as quick as you can.
Of course, Swansea. So going through to the semi-finals is such a great feeling. Everyone was buzzing in the changing rooms in the second half. He noted they didn't have as much of the ball as West Ham would have wanted. When they had it, they were dangerous. Especially with the substitutes, Andre Dyke, who is of course on the bench, and Chinwaza Nwosu, who came on with fresh legs and really got things up and running again for the Hammers. And there they are, Adridas Golombekis back in the under-18s lineup. There's Preston Fearon, Rayan Oyabade, joined with Josh Landers in the shot. Here are your young Hammers, ready for this huge game. Of course, coming into this game, they had a draw against Chelsea, 2-2. And it was Josh Landers who's back in the side today. Perhaps that's a reason why Loris Coggins has used him in his starting lineup after that 94th minute equaliser that split the points between the London clubs. In Fulham, they played before, and they beat them 1-0. Riley Hagen just before the hour mark. So those were the two games that saw West Ham start to put some points on the board. But just after they drew to Manchester United, it was a huge goal-scoring contest. 9-goal thriller, but not in favour of the young Hammers. They, of course, lost to Leicester 6-3. 3 goals in the first 4 minutes. However, they found themselves 2-1 up within 4 minutes, and then Leicester started to run away with it just before half-time, which gave them a really tough task for that second half. So Mayers, who was such a big pivotal figure in that Manchester United game, Preston Fearon, the skipper, just shaking the hands of the other skipper this afternoon, which is Adisa Osayinde, the centre half for Derby County. And there are your young Hammers just having one final team talk before their biggest game of the season. And that's no exaggeration. You can see how there are a few of the under-21s who have come down into the under-18s for this game, just like we saw in the quarter-final. And Mark Phillips, of course, mentioned on co-commentary that day that you often do see the players who are still eligible for the under-18s but play for the under-21s. You often see them come down in these games, and it can really add more firepower, more confidence into the rest of the under-18s that typically ply their trade with the age group. But it's West Ham to kick proceedings off. Just one game away from a position in the Premier League under-18 Cup final. And it's West Ham who passed it out of play, as you just felt they could have tried making something happen, albeit it's only just reached the 20-second mark, so we won't hold them to that. But Derby throw it back. Parents and family members watching on, of course, around the pitch in the Derby County training ground. Sure, some scouts will be there as well.
Be aware it's into the trap.
Well, what pride for the family members around the pitch here, watching on to see their children or nephew or brother playing such a big game. A lot of pressure as well with the clubs, Derby County and West Ham, two big teams at this level, and Derby County have certainly enjoyed life in the Premier League North. They currently find themselves third in the division. There's a big gap in points between themselves and the top two. Of course, currently top is Manchester United. Of course, West Ham beat in the last round, so that'll give them even more confidence knowing that they're now playing a side that find themselves below Manchester United in the table. There's Derby County on 32 points, Manchester United on 44, so 12-point gap, and within that gap is Manchester City, albeit they're in a more positive position in second, just 1 point below Manchester United, so very tight in the Premier League North. But Derby County doing the first bit of attacking as it's fed through behind Golombekis. You can tell by the fact that the number 10, Owen Eames, stopped his run. The flag on the far side is raised for an offside.
Ready to jump, ready to race.
So here's Lanre Owesu, will be filled with confidence after the 1-0 victory for the under-21s last week against Derby County. It was Tyrone Akpata who scored in the 41st minute. Just one goal, but that's how the under-21s have done it this season under Mark Robson.
Wait till the moment's right.
They came away with their 6th Premier League 2 win in all competitions. Of course, Finn Herrick just out for a brief moment with a likely injury. But Owesu replacing him well. There's a slight error that West Ham tried to make the most of. Here's Fearon, laying it off towards Adiele, who puts in a low ball. It's blocked first time of asking. You can see on that far side, up against Tom Marriott. He's only played a handful of games this season, the Derby County number 2 on that far side. The majority of them have come in the Premier League under-18 Cup as well. And West Ham will get the first corner, one through Alicia Sawunmi. So Derby with their first real bit of defending to do. And it'll be Riley Hagen, who of course came on as a late substitute in the quarter-final, and he dispatched his penalty. Remember, there's a lot of pressure riding on it, as Manchester United still haven't missed one by then. So a pivotal part in that penalty shootout, and can he play a big part here as he plays in a low ball? So falls back kindly to Price, whose roll out towards his left back wasn't a very intelligent one. Ogantolu, the number 11, tried to retrieve it as it went beyond Isaac Gordon. West Ham have another throw. Here's Golombekis, who looks to be the one to take this.
Charles, what's your role now, sir? Now you can drop, look, you're coming back, drop.
Here's Golombekis launching it towards the byline. Flicked forward by Hagen. Derby able to clear their lines. Mayers has some defending to do as he heads it into the direction of Agba Kawezu as he picks it up.
Well done, Charles.
Not the most composed defending you've seen from Mayers. He has set the bar pretty high in regards to his standards this season with the exemplary performances he's put in for the under-18s and of course the age group above. And fairly end-to-end in the opening 6 minutes here. Derby just forced to play it back. Of course in this semi-final, just like it was in the quarter-final, if it remains a draw at 90 minutes, we will see extra time and penalties if a draw after that as well. West Ham will be hoping to get the job done in the full 90, however. So a big task is in front of them. Derby County, the joint highest scorers in the Premier League North with Manchester United.
Get across, son. Get across. Get across, Charles. That's where you've got to be, son.
Confident goal scorers within their side. Of course, today we've got a front three of Charles, Agba, Tukid, Owen Eames and Justin Ogantolu. With a mix of 32 goals between them two, or between them three. Here come West Ham. Down the left, it's low, it's a good one, but the finish was awkward. Josh Landers was the player in a golden position, but it hit the back of his foot. Didn't get the connection. If he had done, it would be 1-0, although the goalkeeper was scrambling across his goal mouth in Harley Price. So it would have had to have been an exceptional save should Landers have got that on target. But that'll please Loris Coggins, not necessarily the finish, but the way they were able to open up Derby County there from the flank.
Good, up, go on, Josh.
Shielded up by Medine. Found nicely through towards Landers. Landers looking lively as he puts in a testing ball. But Price is down towards the edge of the 6-yard area to collect that ball. Interception, doesn't go far. Headed forward by Derby. Hagen tries to get it down, but So On Me will. Here's Fearon. Just a short pass to Mayers this time. Agabatakizu, number 9, of course. 14 goals for the season. You can just see him lurking around the 6-yard box, providing that focal point up front. But West Ham tried to make something down their left, and they win a throw-in. Here's Ajala. Hasn't really had a touch yet. He's looking lively. Up against Marriott. Tries to hoist in a ball, but it's blocked at the first time. That's a good header down towards Golombekis. Medine gives it away to Agabatakizu. Here's Ogantolu.
Have a moment. Good line movement. Make sure we're threatening it.
Round Riley, middle.
Get across the pitch.
Run it again.
Intercepted by Oyabade. And now here's Mayers again. As West Ham have broken into the Derby County final third on a couple of occasions in the opening 10 minutes.
Well done, Charles.
Definitely had their higher share of chances. Clear-cut one falling towards Landers. Derby still yet to test Owesu. They'll try to make something happen now with a clever pass, but Oyabade's left foot was there to clear it away before the opposition had a chance in the West Ham penalty area.
Don't feel safe. Don't shot. Keep seeing Josh. Move together. Middle, Riley.
Derby just forced back. Isaac Gordon.
Good. Yes, Jeff. Go.
Sloppy pass forward, easily intercepted by Medine, but he couldn't keep it under his spell, so it's launched forward, and Golombekis is underneath it to flick it towards Medine. Cleared away again. Oyabade. Medine just trying to play it towards himself. That's a nice nutmeg through Fearon. And Derby look to try and make something happen here as they almost have the first chance for themselves. But brilliant defending once again from Oyabade, courageously coming across to clear it away from Agbadekizu's reach. Cleared down the line.
Stay closer,
Here's
Rio.
the
Closer.
Derby skipper Ossian.
Down, Rio. Short on the distance.
Josh across now. Go. Go on, Emmys. Go on. Next one, Preston. Take it.
Of course, Derby have looked clean in moments. Really made things tick in their final third. Of course, it's very early on in this game. Both sides still sussing one another out and having to deal with those semi-final nerves. I suppose when you are this age and you're playing in these games of magnitude, it's good to, for your player development, to experience these nerves. And as for Derby County, they look to draw first blood, rattling the crossbar. West Ham let off, and fortunate as Derby didn't have their shooting boots on there. Of course, the first time went into Owen Eames. It was a weak strike that Owesu met with his knee. Golombekis tried to cut it in to clear it away and then gave it to Domain Agustin, who leathered it towards goal, but got too much under it and saw it hit the top of the crossbar.
Centre back's whip.
Warning signs there for West Ham. Just as I was saying, it was early on in the game and both sides are sussing one another out. You go and get Derby County, who had two glorious opportunities to find the back of the net, but so far it's fairly acceptable to say that both teams have had their equal amount of opportunities. But Derby perhaps just edging it there with that couple of chances in a matter of seconds between one another.
Get up with him. Get the line up.
The obvious one for West Ham was the Landers finish. Here's Hagen lifting it over towards the left. Ajala trying to chase it down. Landers will go towards the goalkeeper. Another interception, but cleared away from Derby. Ends up being a nice pass, almost, but Oyabade was there.
Harley might draw the jump in first.
Golombekis trying to clear it away through Hagen. Golombekis commandingly in the right place at the right time. Good positioning. As West Ham tried to play it over the top, but it doesn't work.
Make the jump big, make the jump big. There we go.
Price rolling it firmly out towards Gordon.
Work away from pressure, Marcel. Away. Good idea, just.
From Oguntolu. Doesn't go to anyone but Lanre Owesu.
Get Zach clear for our time.
Of course, the number 8, Domain Augustine, who's probably had the best opportunity for Derby County this game so far. He's someone that isn't shy from having family members with top-level footballing experience. He is, of course, the son of former Premier League player Kemi Agustin. He used to play for Swansea City in the Premier League between the seasons of 2011 and 12 to 2013. Here come West Ham to open up the scoring. Medine puts in a low ball, and just after the quarter of an hour mark, it's their striker once again, Josh Ajala, a couple of yards out to tap it home.
Press to defend.
And what a way to deal with the pre-match semi-final nerves.
Come on, raise it, raise it.
Kudos goes towards Landers, whose passing towards Medine was so clean. And Ajala was around Sawonmi as they both go off in celebration. And that's now 7 goals for the under-18s this season.
Manage momentum.
And 16 overall for the Academy of Football. Just what Loris Coggins would have wanted. So Derby pegged back, and West Ham hitting them early on through Josh Ajala. Can they do it a second time? Oh my word! Josh Landers leathering it home. 2 quick-fire goals for West Ham. Brilliant for the young Hammers. It was a mistake at the back that Ajala pounced on, but in fact it was Landers who saw the danger. And that was quick feet and quick thinking to double the Hammers league. Derby will be shell-shocked at home.
Preston, press. Control now. Riley, control the game now.
So Derby in a familiar position, having to play a second kick-off in 2 minutes. West Ham well and truly in the driving seat now, but of course still a long way to go. We've seen at any level in football, 1 goal can really change it. But this is where, of course, the coaching staff, the players, this is where if you're starting to get some more opportunities now for the rest of the half, you've got to take them. Bury it before half-time. If you can, of course. It's far easier said than done, and probably sounds a little naive when you're up here in the gantry, because it's far different for the players on the pitch there. And this is definitely where West Ham, if they sense any more danger, try and put it to bed before nerves can creep in. So West Ham with the free kick in the Derby half. And they're calm with it. And you don't blame them. But can they try and turn it into an attack now as Mayers lofts it over towards Medine. The final touch is off Jethro Medine. So a Derby goal kick.
Take him down.
Yes, Josh. Yes, Josh.
Of course, Josh Ajala just being a brilliant example of a player who's doing ever so well as an 18-year-old down, or up in the under-21s I should say, coming down to the under-18s to ply his trade, and he does it so well. Helped out his side in the quarter-finals when they found themselves a goal down. It was just on the edge of the area, I think if anything in line with the edge of the area. It was a firm strike that the Manchester United goalkeeper was unable to keep out.
Elijah, nothing through first. Yes, Josh. Narrow first, Josh.
And then led the way for West Ham to get back into it and end up winning. Here's Derby County firing it towards that near post, and Awesu having to fully stretch to deny that effort from the fullback as well. On his weaker side, Isaac Gordon. And that's obviously where West Ham have to be cautious, as would anyone. Where they've got a strong advantage early on. All it takes is a moment of magic from the opposition to turn the game on its head. They've got a chance now with their first corner of the game. Work through by Cruz Allen. Back out towards their number 8, who fires it in low. Domain Augustine, unable to find a player in white and black. Scooped over towards Augustine. You can see the applause there from the West Ham bench, just as they see the ball back in their territory. Landers tries to search it down. So that was Josh Landers' first goal in the Premier League Cup. He's already got 2 to his name this season in the other competitions. That could potentially be his favourite yet this season. Derby just easily gifting it back, but there was still a defender close towards Landers, so he did well to just see the danger and strike quickly and catch the goalkeeper off guard in Harley Price. Of course, has made 12 appearances in the Premier League 18 this season. Harley Price, the goalkeeper, he joined the Derby County under-18s as a first-year scholar in the summer of 2023. And he's seen as a player who's excellent with his feet after having been with the club since an under-12. He really came into the scene last season. Couldn't really blame him there for that second goal. Within a flash, it was another one-on-one. That throw from Golombekis is met by an interception, which will lead to another throw, slightly more advanced up the pitch this time. West Ham trying to sense a third. As Golombekis throws it long towards that near post, picked up on the outside of the area by Hagen. Back out to Golombekis. Nice cut back. Will he fancy to play in a ball? He does, but it's a low one. And intercepted by Derby. Not bad, just tussling there with Agba Dekazizu. Nice feet as he takes it away from Suwonmi, but Hagen was there. But that's good determination showed from Eames to try and play it out towards that far side. But West Ham win it back, and here's Ajala in a fairly deep possession, linking up with his fellow under-21's counterpart. Here they come for a third. Medine may have a chance. Here he has, once again, cleared away by Derby County. But that was really well worked from West Ham. Ajala and Adieli, the 2 under-21s, linking up. And you felt like Medine could have had a chance to tap in an open goal.
You work early. Next line, Charles. Give him a face.
Close it earlier. Good, go.
West Ham with great energy shown in the opening 24 minutes here. But here come Derby as they look to try and half the deficit and get back in the game. Hagen's there and it creeps in. Derby County doing exactly what they would have wanted.
Isaac, that's going to be the pass, probably on the floor.
You felt West Ham were going to have a chance to win it back in their penalty area. But Derby did enough. And it's their danger man. Who else but Charles Agba Dekazizu, who started off his career at Lewisham Borough, ended up at West Ham for a year and a half. So the ex-Hammer haunting his old side. He impressed on trial for Derby County and then was offered a permanent contract. He's got 14 goals in 9 appearances in the Premier League 18 this season, which is a sublime tally given the fact that he's only played a single number of games.
Ready, Charles, stay across.
Go on.
Out the shadow.
And of course, that's the danger Derby County possess. West Ham will be happy that they've taken 2 of their chances, but there were still 2 more to potentially find the back of the net. Extremely unrealistic to expect any side to take all of their chances in a game, which is what ends up making them so tight. And this game has just got a bit tighter here at the Manor Farm training ground. And now they've got another chance for another goal. Jermaine Augustine. So this will test West Ham now for the rest of the first half. Headed away, but in fact behind. It looked like it was going to creep out of play for a corner kick. It then does. So I feel the Derby County player may have fancied his chances at trying to keep the ball in play, but then realised perhaps a corner was a better option. So Riley Hagen, the closest hammer towards the kick taker. In swinger. And it's allowed to bounce, but then scurried away from Adieli. So Isaac Gordon over this. Leaped up by Augustine. Oyabade just letting it to bounce. Here is the goal scorer. Neat pass from Marcel Tosa. You could see the idea, but couldn't find a Derby County player to receive it.
Make sure you've got enough depth.
Augustine trying to loop it in behind, but Mayers was there to block it away. Tried to play the reverse pass, but
Cruz, better movement.
throw-in is the outcome.
Keep the distances down if you can. Next line ready. Next line's ready.
Gordon. See Derby often favour playing those balls in behind from their midfield. Out wide as well. Unable to find Oguntolu. Sawonmi laid off to Hagen.
Hey, Justin, that's too easy up there. They couldn't get out that easy. What, Riley's one?
Charles, well done. When we're in possession,
Yeah, it looks like Jethro Medine may be down here.
Jumping on everyone, you'll be the face.
And he just gets back up on his feet. And it will be a free kick for the Hammers.
Wait till your right moment.
Of course, with the Hammers, do remember.
Yes, go, Josh. Yes, go on.
The tickets are on sale now for our next 3 Premier League games against Newcastle, Bournemouth and Southampton. And for the Bournemouth game, kids go for £1 if you buy before the game sells out and go to the ticket exchange. Find out more or buy now at tickets.whufc.com. That's tickets.whufc.com. Perhaps West Ham first team starting to gather some more momentum now under Graham Potter with that emphatic 1-0 win at the Emirates. West Ham know how to get jobs done away from home in London, it feels like, over the last few seasons. Certainly at the Emirates. Another free kick here for West Ham just before the 30-minute mark. So Hagen just trots off. Looks like he's got a slight limp, but it's fed in by Fearon, and it's almost touched home. Scurried away from Derby County. Hagen just jogging away, and that was a fierce ball played in from Fearon. I think it was Mayers in the penalty area who got the touch. It was a good save from Harley Price. Goal kick now. Lob down the middle. It was held up and fed down the right, but Mayers was there before the intended target. There will be a free kick as Charles Agba Wadikizu was held in that midfield position as he just dropped deep. Medine will try and run onto this after his counterpart fell over. Here's Sawunmi. Landers darting down this right, but it's tidied up nicely from Owen Eames.
Drag them all over one side, it comes back and out the other way. Out the shadow.
There's Price. Short pass played in as Medine will go in and press. Colin Beckis. Hagen, quite a size difference there between himself and Justin Oguntolu. Morris Collins just behind Colin Beckis, doing some instructions, or giving some instructions to his side. So Colin Beckis to throw it long. Derby County tried to come away with it. Mayers. Now Adeyemi. Had such a strong first half performance against Manchester United.
Do you work early? Do you work early?
Trying to play the switch, but it's a weak one. In case Gordon intercepts to drive it forward. Fearon trying to get the ball off him. Instead, Ajala helps out.
Go!
Fearon.
Nothing through. Nothing through.
Numbers, the leg!
Nothing through. You put that ball. Gain your yards.
West Ham unable to find a run forward. Just playing it from right to left, but Derby just trying to pick holes into this West Ham routine, and they've managed to find one here. But unable to get through. As the number 4, Marcel Tosa's chasing it down that right. Assistant referee waves his flag for a West Ham throw. Fearon. Long ball forward.
Pressure from the front.
Sawunmi.
In again, Josh. In again. Elias, drop a bit.
Low throw. Have to be careful of not a foul one. And all players treating this, especially the Derby County ones, like it's a set piece. So a free kick ready to be played in. And the two-man wall for the Irons. Sawunmi, one of the players in that wall. West Ham have to be careful here. Colin Beckis heads it away. It's picked up on the outside of the area. And then fed through towards that back post. Terrific save from Awesu. Hands on the head of Agba Dakizu, who could not believe that his effort didn't find the back of the net. But props there to Lanre Awesu to come down low and quick to deny a second for Derby. But the chance isn't over yet. Derby smell blood towards that back post. It's well worked. And then that shot is well over. West Ham with a bit of breathing room now, which they'll be grateful of. And they'll be even more grateful of the strike from Owen Eames, who's trying to find his 10th goal of the season. And that would have been found in some fairly emphatic style. If he hit that on the half volley and it found the roof of the net.
But where it's landed!
West Ham, it found the green bank behind Oasis's goal. And it will be a goal kick. Flick behind.
Stay in!
West Ham let it bounce. Every time you see Derby play it forward, it's a danger man. Of course, the goal scorer for Derby this afternoon, Agba Akizu. Always posing a threat for any one of those defenders in that back three for West Ham. Usually been Oyabade and Mayers have been on him. Here comes Adieli. Gets a second chance, trying to play it towards Ajala, but didn't have the power on the pass to reach West Ham's number 9. But the referee just blows his whistle for a set piece to go Derby's way. Of course, Derby County won their group. They were in Group A. They beat Manchester City, lost to Norwich, and then beat Brighton & Hove Albion in an 11-goal thriller. 6-5 they won down on the south coast. So only the 6 points for them. Of course, West Ham finished their group stage unbeaten, beating Nottingham Forest 2-0, drawing to Everton 4-4, and then beating Southampton 3-1. Southampton, of course, the side to have knocked out Derby in the FA Youth Cup. So it will be a throw. Towards Ajala, trying to feed it back towards Landers. Colin Beckis with the controlled pass towards Mayers, who deals with it well, and there was some height to deal with it as well. Adieli getting stuck in and winning a foul. Free kick West Ham.
Get someone in front of you on the throw-in. Too easy, you can't go to their feet from throwing.
Of course, coming up as well, don't miss the sale on the West Ham kit with up to 50% off this season's replica strips. There's also a great junior bundle too, with a full junior kit with shirt, shorts and socks for just £50. So head to the shop online, shop.whufc.com. That's shop.whufc.com now to buy. As they feed it from Adieli, the goalkeeper has to be careful. Price juggling it from hand to hand for a brief moment there. A high ball, dealing with the sun as well in his eyes, something Lanre Owaisi will have to cope with in the second period, which is just 6.5 minutes away. Try to feed it towards the byline, another opportunity behind Ajala, and happily intercepted by Owen Eames of Derby, who wins the throw-in. Flick down. Derby tried to come forward. Once again, West Ham having joy with these chances where they've just managed to catch Derby when they've been in defence and when they've been passing it around the back line. West Ham have noticed some fragilities. Suwunmi doubled up here and he loses out. Kizu doing his job to lay off and hold up the ball. Here they come with Domain Augustin. Fed back down that right hand side, but the players on different wavelengths. West Ham will get a free kick, or a goal kick I should say. Just 5 minutes left of this first half performance. What a way West Ham kicked things off. A goal from Ajala, and then two seconds, it felt like, later, there was Josh Landers to tuck home his 3rd goal of the season. And then ever since Derby got one back, it has injected some nerves into the West Ham side, but it doesn't look obvious, of course. You can imagine when Agbadekizu around the back of the net, the mindset then just naturally switches between both sides. But here come West Ham again, trying to restore that 2-goal advantage they had after the 17th minute. Chested up towards Agustin, launching it forward. Golombekis with the header away, chased by Oyabade. Then he leathers it forward. Hagen. Landers trying to deal with it. Now Gordon. Derby just trying to gather some momentum down the line, but West Ham's organisation not allowing them a chance at the moment, and it was a good interception from Landers, allowing West Ham to win it back in their own half. Agbadekizu trying to put pressure on Uesu, but he dealt with that pass well. Now Fearon. West Ham probably just looking to control the game now as we see out the final 3 minutes plus stoppage time. Of course, if they find themselves in an attacking position, they might not go for it, but as we can see, they're just happy to pass it round, keep the ball, and ensure Derby don't get a chance for an equaliser, because that would really set things up tensely for a second half. They're just unable to keep it, West Ham, in that brief moment, as this is a very good opportunity. Excellent defending. I think it was Oyabade who stuck out his leg at such an important time. Mayers was there, but look at that from Oyabade. Timed to perfection in his own penalty area as well. That right foot of his just putting the Derby attacker off balance. And of course, getting the ball before he got the player.
Wait for the right one. Ready to race.
Medine, you can just see in the right of your screen, trying to hold off his run, but then advance forward. That's a heavy touch. It was a hard ball to deal with. And Derby looks to try and play it in behind once again. Uesu read the danger.
Early.
Gordon. Back towards the captain, Osiinde. Here's Tosa in some room.
Rest defence. Make the jump big.
Osiinde.
Yep, up. Left, right, from the front. Go, Josh. Again, up. Charles, come over.
Lisa, well done.
See that once again, trying to play it in behind. Obviously, they haven't kept their clean sheet in this game, West Ham, but they've certainly done well with dealing with the balls in behind from Derby County when they have been on point and found the player. Oyabade, certainly one to praise in this first half, but Mayers and Golombekis have certainly done their hard work as well. Ball played forward. A lot to ask for Ajala to get on the end of.
Break a line with your movement.
But it will be a late throw. I'm sure with how much stoppage time will be added onto this first half. But could they get a late chance?
tough, Jeff. Come on, Josh, make it tough.
Fear and pressing in on Agustin.
Let's go. Yes, Charles.
Once again, trying to play it in behind, but perhaps they may need to be a bit more patient and a bit more thoughtful as well. You're going to play it in behind. You've got to make sure that the other players are on the wavelength of when to make their run as well. Just hitting it forward and hoping someone will be there to make the run just shows perhaps a bit of fragmentation between the players, which is something Danny may want to just get out of them in this
Go on.
break we're about to have. Hargan with the interception, but it turns out to be a nice header over towards Adieli. Quick feet. There's room potentially for Landers, but that's shut down quickly. So a late corner here at the Moor Farm Training Centre. No, it won't be. It looked like it was going to be. It's a shame for West Ham. It was a good move. Clearly very good defending from Rio Canaval to ensure that his slide challenge resulted in his side getting the ball. West Ham tried to get it back high up the pitch. And they have a throw. Colin Beckis flicked into the gloves of Price. Anticipating perhaps another player in claret and blue was around that area to try and poke it home. But as you can hear, the referee's whistle is blown for the half-time break. A great start for West Ham in this semi-final. They do go into half-time leading by a goal. And it's Josh Landers' goal that keeps the side separate. Just moments before him, of course, Ajala was on target. But look at this. From right down this near side, Medine putting in a lovely ball close towards the goal mouth in a dangerous area. Ajala, as we know, watching him all season, he knows where the danger zone is. And there he was to tuck it home to make it 1-0 to West Ham. It's a vintage knee slide celebration we've seen him do on multiple occasions this season. And as you could probably tell from my excited commentary at this point, it really was a great moment for these young Hammers in a semi-final. When you double the lead as quickly as they did, it's hard not to get excited. This second half, though, surely nerves to come, but it's gone in West Ham's favour in the first 45. 2-1 at the break. We'll be back in just under 15 minutes' time. So welcome back, everyone. Here we are after that half-time break at the Moor Farm Training Centre. As you can see, as you probably know, and definitely will know, West Ham are 2 goals up to 1. They went 2-0 up in the first half within 18 minutes. Derby County hit one back with their top goal scorer, Agbar Tukazizu. Of course, that has injected some apprehension for West Ham. Whether they probably conceded or not, though, I'm sure the nerves will still be high, given the nature of this game. But a spot is available for the final of the Premier League Under-18 Cup. A chance for silverware. Of course, you've got the other 2 games, or the other game I should say, is Liverpool versus Reading. That's on right at this time as well. That's currently 0-0. So Liverpool and Reading, 2 sides that, of course, well, Liverpool are in Derby's Premier League North Division, Reading in the Premier League 2. So could it be an all Premier League North affair or an all Premier League South affair? Or both, who knows? Time will tell going into this big second half. And it's Derby County who get us off underway for this second period. Looks to be no changes made from Danny May or Loris Coggins.
Take the middle, get us out. Ready, Bailey. Jeff. Stop, close up. Nice, middle. Stop.
The under-18s have been helped out by those in the under-21s coming down, just like they did in the quarter-final. It looks like Derby will have the first spell in attack of the second half as the low ball is met by Oyedabade. Forward once again, fairly scrappy. It's Derby who will come away with this free kick. Of course, if this game does result in a draw, it will go to extra time and potentially penalties, and West Ham have some more defending to do with this free kick. That's in a good position, not too far out, certainly striking range, which will worry Awesu on the wall in front. Of course, Lanre Awesu has already made a brilliant save, 2 good saves actually, one down to his near post and the other one where he came down low to deny a second goal for Agbar Tukazizu. There's Domain Agustin, who looks to strike it. Lanre Awesu once again stretching those arms of his to meet the delivery. And then Agustin chasing back to play it towards Tom Marriott. Cut out by Mayers. Nudged forward by Tosa. There will be a throw-in for the Hammers.
Change momentum.
Fearon. You see Landers sprinting towards the ball. Often see this at the beginning of the second half. Both sides warming up really, and getting warmed up again after that break. A few sloppy errors which see continuous amounts of throw-ins, it feels like. But West Ham will try to keep it in now with Adieli, but they give it away. Fed out towards this right-hand side. As Mayers, the tall, robust defender that he is, with pace as well, gets there before the number 7, Cruz Allen, had a chance for Derby County. He just tried to break forward, but the high West Ham line meant that it was hard for Derby County to actually get players in a good attacking position into their own half. And we even had Tom Marriott and Cruz Allen in very close proximity to one another as they tried to feed it down the right. Goal kick from Awesu. by Derby County header. Back by Mayers. Another header going in. There's another one. Like head tennis going on. Hagen. Cut out by Canaver. Back heel from Allen is read by Fearon. And then he unleashes one with his weaker foot, which sees a Derby County goal kick.
Come on, boys, let's go. Set the tempo here. Come on, Josh.
Of course, for a handful of these players for West Ham, the Adielis, Fearon, Ujala, Golombekis, a lot of them playing with the under-21s this season. They've really cemented their place for the under-21s, especially for next season, depending on where they could go if they seek senior minutes elsewhere. But you can imagine them being the ones that are ready for consistent under-21s football, which they have got, in all fairness, towards the second half of the season. But Golombekis and Fearon have certainly come in to this under-21 setup as the season's gone on, and they'll probably look to nail down that position at the beginning of the next year. Of course, for the under-21s this season, they only have 4 more games remaining. It really does feel like this season has flown by when you think of it like that. But for the under-21s, it's completely the opposite. They have 9 games remaining. Of course, with the under-21s, it's only the 4 Premier League 2 games that they've got for the rest of their season. Suwonmi will lay it off towards Medine. Last pass to Suwonmi. Taking it in his stride as he tries to clip it in with his left. Cleared away by Allen, but not far. And then it's taken down by Agba Dikizu.
Hey, stop!
Of course, the under-21s, they travel to Liverpool on Sunday, this upcoming Sunday, as they look to try and make it 7 Premier League 2 wins in a row. What a record that would be. And then, of course, the next home game for the under-21s, where we'll be live at Rush Green, is the game against Leicester, Friday the 14th of March, 7 PM kickoff time, for the penultimate game for the under-21s at Rush Green, which will then conclude against Crystal Palace on the 4th of April. As for the under-18s, they have 9 games remaining. Crystal Palace away this Saturday is their next assignment. There's Marriott assessing his options. Of course, we may see with the under-21 season ending sooner than the under-18 season, that may allow some of the more experienced under-18s to play more games for the under-18s. So it will be a throw for West Ham. Sloppy touch. Derby look to try and keep it down. Kept down by Ujala well as he oozes past the Derby midfield. Just a few of those players you could see he had the confidence to beat, and then he pulled the trigger. Corner kick is the outcome. Gliding nicely as Isaac Gordon had his right leg stretched out to try and block or dispossess Ujala. So Fearon over on that far side. Radielli and Hagen, the 2 players outside of the area. There's Fearon towards that back post. Golombekis sprinting towards the corner flag and scurrying it in. As Adieli then goes to the hopeful delivery. Can something happen? Mayers putting it into a good area. Oyabade has a strike. Calls for a handball as you saw some players raising their hands towards the referee. Now, this is a big driving run down the left-hand side. Fed off to their goal scorer, Agba Dikizu. Up against Medine, still finding time to pull it back, but Mayer's having to deal with it there. Then Adieli, Oyabade, to run it over towards Ajala. Big size difference between him and Cannaville as he feels he was fouled. They've got a lot of physical players, this Derby County side. They look like they could easily be in their mid-20s, let alone a teenager. Marriott sticking out a leg to win it over Adieli. Here's Agustin. Tricky feet. Now Cruz Allen. He'll deliver one in with his left, but that goes over all the intended targets. The closest player was Ogantolu towards the byline. Had a chance to maybe reach that delivery. Of course, both these sides in their domestic campaigns have had very different seasons. West Ham find themselves in 11th, having only won 4 of their 15 Premier League under-18 games. Compare that with Derby, they've won 10 of their 17 Premier League 2 games. Of course, they started off the season strongly. Derby County, 6 wins and a draw in their first 7. And some defeats started to come their way, but they still managed to keep on a good points tally to keep themselves high up the table, but perhaps not enough to keep up with the 2 Manchester clubs. Derby settled in 3rd. They've got Everton just below them in 4th with 28 points, so a 4-point difference between Derby and Everton. And of course, they were knocked out of FA Youth Cup to Southampton in a 4-1 defeat, having gone 1-0 up through Cruz Allen in the first minute. Southampton clearly too good in the other 89. Of course, something to note about academy football, and the reason why teams can be quite inconsistent is due to the fact that whether you're an under-18 or an under-21, you may always get called up to the side above. So Wanmi, in the meantime, trying to have a go. Former Derby County player and now head coach of the under-21s, Jake Buxton, mentioned about under-21s football and said you could come up against a really strong under-21 side, or a side where a lot of their under-21s may be out on loan, could be playing for the senior squad, and that obviously can lead to, firstly, not really knowing how to prepare against these sides, but also inconsistent results. And I suppose the same can be applied with these under-18s. Of course, we know with this West Ham side right now that a handful of them do play for the age group above, and Suwanmi, who I'm sure will be on Mark Robson's radar after his emphatic season with the under-18s this season, is able to win a corner. 14 goals and 20 assists for Alicia Suwanmi. Sublime 20 games, 14 goals in 20 games, but still sublime statistics for the West Ham number 10. So Fearon once again, 9 assists this season. He's looking for his 10th. As he goes beyond all the players over towards this left-hand side. That's happened on 2 occasions now with the last 2 set pieces. Perhaps just needs to be wary of the distance of his corners. And perhaps get more West Ham players in that position where the ball's ended up in the previous 2 corner kicks. Mayers. Big figure up against Akbar Dikizu. Be a free kick. Chance for West Ham to
Charles,
try
on
and
you!
get a third goal before the hour mark.
Yeah, good.
Fearon.
Stay within D.
And Hagen. But it will be Fearon. Technique on that as it swerves over towards that far side. Picked up by Suwunmi. Now Landers tries to play the reverse pass back to Suwunmi. Medine is there. Perhaps had more time than he thought. And he just cleared that forward, but perhaps could have played maybe something more accurate to keep the ball. But anywhere will do, I suppose. Perhaps we're not really at that time of the game yet. With still 30 minutes left to play. Derby well and truly in this affair. And it looked like for a moment that it could have escaped them, of course, after West Ham scored their second and it was 2-0. And then had another glorious chance. It was a good save from Price, who palmed it towards the direction of Medine. Wasn't able to tap it home. Can Derby try and get their equaliser? Here's Cruz Allen, plenty of claret and blue shirts around him. And they get it away. Launched up towards Landers. Picked up by Marriott. Now Cannaville. Landers going in, but Cannaville just brushes him aside. The tall, physical frame, making a good run, but has to track back now as he gave it away. And that ball in behind wasn't a successful one towards Ajala.
Play the forward pass, otherwise we just set the trap for ourselves.
Looks like it's going to be pulled back here for a free kick for West Ham.
Get a drink, get a drink.
It's perhaps just a time for the players to regroup and to discuss tactics for the remaining 30 minutes. Of course, West Ham in a controlled position at the under-18s level right now, but for the senior level, of course, there are still tickets on sale for West Ham's next 3 Premier League games against Newcastle, Bournemouth and Southampton. And for the Bournemouth game, kids can go for £1 if you buy before the game sells out and goes to ticket exchange. So find out more or buy now at tickets.whufc.com. Of course, for that £1 offer, it must be purchased before the game sells out and then subsequently goes to the ticket exchange. If you fancy a kit, don't miss the sale. 50% off the 2024-25 replica shirts. Of course, if you fancy donning a junior bundle, looking like the next Ezra Mayers or Golan Bekis or Josh Ajala, then there is a deal on that as well. You can get a junior kit with the shirt, shorts and socks for just £50. For that, head to shop.whufc.com to buy now. So just a brief moment where both sets of sides were able to just regroup after having now played just over a quarter of an hour into this second half. You can sense the nerves. Both teams just after the restart having to assess one another, seeing what they may have changed after that first half performance. Mayers trying to clear it forward, finds his colleague, but he's in an offside position. So here's Harley Price. Rain Augustian, of course, is from the Caribbean island, Curacao. He joined the Rams in the 2022-23 season after a stint with West Brom. He's even been capped for the international side, Karachow, at under 17 level as well. Falls back in West Ham possession with Lanre Owesu. So of course, as it remains goalless in the second half, Reading have just gone a goal up against Liverpool. Booth, the goal scorer for them. So Reading and West Ham at this current moment in time heading for an all-South Premier League Under-18 Cup final.
Ready, ready, ready. It's going long, ready.
It's all the way up in Liverpool. So a long journey for those young Royals. So far, they're making it worth it. Here come Derby. Try and get an equaliser, albeit they're in a fairly defensive position, but Marriott senses that, so they need to advance the ball quickly, and West Ham give away a foul. Look how quickly they're trying to get it forward. Augustian. This is good for Derby. Surely their best opportunity of the second half, and it's scuffed and squandered. And Lanre Owesu will pick up that ball with delight. Unable to get any sort of power and connection on that.
Position, Isaac.
And that will really frustrate them and those associated with Derby County. Mayers scooping it forward. Goes behind Osayinde. Ojala chasing in on Marriott. Here's Augustine.
Compete, get around him.
Marriott having to do a lot of work down this right hand side in terms of playing the ball forward. I've seen Derby favour this right hand side more than the far side in the second period. Akbar Bekizu unable to keep it under a spell, and once again Mayers will have another throw. Cleared forward by Oyabade, commanding from Adisa Osayinde. Of course, he's one of several under-9s players who currently play for the under-18s.
Charles, with Imzi, look at the
two
line.
of which playing
Where the keeper wants to
this
go.
afternoon, who joined Derby County in the under-9 category, one of those being Rio Canaville, the other one being Adisa Osayinde. So the two centre-halves having come through the ranks at Derby County. Of course, Osayinde, the skipper this afternoon, made 25 appearances for the under-18s last season, and even made his first senior appearance for Derby under then manager Paul Ward as a substitution in the EFL Trophy. Adieli gliding past and then brought down. Terrific run there from Emeka Adieli, and we'll see the first yellow card of the afternoon go towards the number 4, Marcel Tosa, the Albanian-born player. The number 4 joined as an under-16 after being scouted from a private academy in London. Made 20 appearances last season. And has 14 appearances this year in the Premier League 18. He's penalised there. So once again, the left foot of Fearon or the right foot of Hagen to send in this ball. You'd think it will be the number 8. But you couldn't be more wrong as Hagen swerves one towards Lanre or Harley Price.
Get in position then.
Let's be alert to the danger there. But you felt the way the ball was swerving, it was just out of reach of the cluster of West Ham players that were trying to make an option. And here come Derby. This looks threatening, as it was 3-on-3, but it doesn't matter as the referee's blown his whistle.
Liner, he's about 5 yards up. Don't go on the shout. You've got to see it yourself. You're not up with play.
2 yards behind play.
Liner, you've got that wrong. It's miles on.
Got it right, Lionel.
Keep up with play.
So 20 minutes left. Gollum Beckis with the free kick. Looked worrying for a moment. So you had 3 pacey, tall, physical Derby players onto that back 3 for West Ham. Now they've been caught out in possession high up the pitch, as Mayers has to deal with the pressure from Agbar de Kizu, and he does that ever so well. Here comes Mayers scooping it forward, but it's cut out by Osiyinde. He looks energised, Mayers. There, Bade picking it up, playing it calmly back to Adieli. He'll do the same with Owesu.
Come on, Ed.
Taking his time, allowing the Derby number 9 to just go in close
Finders.
before scooping it forward.
Good, Marcel.
Fear and try and play that first time pass forward. No runners were there to get on the end of it. Colin Beckett' long throw, looping. Haven't seen much action in this second half. Not really from a West Ham perspective, but I suppose when you're guarding a 1-goal lead, there's an element of caution as well. And to be honest, they're dealing with the Derby County pressure, so the performance still is satisfying for West Ham, but of course anyone would like them to maybe try and get another goal. Of course, just get a goal. Much easier said than done, understandably. Then of course ease the nerves for these players. Derby's presence in their defence haven't really given much for Josh Ajala and the players around him to do. Here they have another go through Medine, bringing the ball into the box towards the byline. Hagen will see it go out for a throw. This is where they've been controlling the game relatively well, West Ham. Keeping Derby away from the ball and taking their time. As we can see with this passage of play, very composed, very calm. A lovely switch out towards Adieli. Tricky feet, going one way and then another. Winning a corner. On this near side to feed it in. Oh, it's hit the back of the net, but the whistle's been blown. They did get their goal, but there was a foul just before. It was a brilliant delivery, and in fact it was so good it looked like it even went in without taking a touch off a player. But can West Ham sense this danger now and put the game slightly more to bed? Will Cruz just trying to move away. Now Gollum Beckis with the interception. Hagen. Fearon. 16 minutes for Derby to try and get an equaliser. West Ham will be hoping, of course, that they can see this game out so they can save having to play for another 30 minutes, of course, as well. Joshua Jala even said after the full game he played last time how knackered his legs were. And there he is to make it 3-1. Joshua Jala doing everything he can to put West Ham into the final and to avoid extra time from looming. 3-1 to the Hammers, and that 2-goal advantage is restored. Terrific from Adieli. Continued his sight on the ball, took it around Marriott towards the byline and cut it back, and look at that finish from Ajala. Effortless stroke home with his left boot.
Come on, raise it, 20 left, come on. Just one and you're back in it.
Of course, he mentioned how playing the 120 minutes against Manchester United meant having to dig even deeper. But he even mentioned how the togetherness throughout that 120 minutes was amazing and can really boost the morale and togetherness of the team. But as things stand, it looks like extra time may not be on the cards. 15 minutes to go, and it's West Ham 3-1 up. Jala now with his 8th goal for the under-18s this season. That's now 17 for the academy. What a campaign he's had. And I look forward to seeing what he can do next season.
Land on.
Oh, collision there. Of course, there has been a substitution. James Ward has come on for Derby County. Of course, he is the 3rd player out of the bench in the starting 11 of this Derby County squad. That was an under-9, impressed in the younger age groups over the recent years. Signed a 2-year scholarship last summer. So he comes on just after his side have found themselves a deficit of 2 goals. Mayers just looking slightly torn up here. Still, Liverpool 0, Reading 3. So Reading have scored 3 goals away from home up at Liverpool. And it's looking, as we enter the final 13 or so minutes here, that it can be, or will be, a Reading West Ham final. 3 goals scored from Reading in 12 minutes. Of course, Reading actually find themselves in 10th in the under-18 Premier League table, 2 points above West Ham, albeit with a game played extra. So West Ham on 15 games played with 17 points, Reading with 16 games played and 19 points. So a tight game in the under-18 Premier League table. West Ham still have Reading to play in the under-18 Premier League on the 12th of April, kick-off time of 11 AM. So could that be a test of what could be to come? Of course, though, still 12 plus minutes left for West Ham. Landers just slips there awkwardly. Here they come through Isaac Gordon. Back out towards Osiyinde. Scooped in behind.
Good lad. Good lad. Go.
but to no one, which will please West Ham. So they'll just want to see this game out now. Of course, the potential of a slight taste of silverware. We all know about the FA Youth Cup victory 2 years ago. Of course, the current under-18s then, or the then under-18s, won silverware. They'll be looking to try and replicate that now with a very high chance of getting into this final as things stand. Of course, one of the youth coaches for Derby County is Bradley Johnson. Used to play for Norwich. And Derby, of course. You mentioned how these final games can shape your career and be something that you remember throughout the lifetime of your career, whether it's a career in football or elsewhere. Those games in the finals, and even winning the trophy is something you will remember. And that is just over 10 minutes away for this current crop of West Ham under 18 players.
Sorry.
Scooped in. Looked like it could have hit the back of the net. The side netting, of course, but it's a goal kick. Haven't been the most convincing of corners at time from Fearon, but still a player that has superb passing range in abundance. Feeding along the ground. Here's Cruz Allen. Trying to spot the keeper off his line, and he was. But luckily for West Ham, the shot was off target. So another substitution. On comes the number 14, Marley Mintus. Who, of course, is a midfielder, joined Derby County from the under-10s, from grassroots football, and was nominated for Academy Player of the Year of the 2023-24 season as an under-16, and of course received competitive minutes for the under-18s. So a youngster who's been playing with the age groups above.
Hey, again, let's go. Come on.
As he now comes on for the final 10 remaining minutes.
You ready? Go, Josh. Ready, Rio. Stay narrow. We're done. Go, 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 go.
Here's Price. Over towards number 16, James Ward. Mayer's doing his best to shield off the ball from those in white and black and plays it in towards Adieli, who just cuts it back at the byline. Weaving his way through, looking to have been brought down. He's still down on the floor, the referee not having any of it. And now Derby look like they could try and get forward, but Gollum Beckis is there to intercept. Mayers, short throw. Adieli unable to turn his man that time. So Derby feed it forward. Oyabade. Smart turn as he tries to change the ball's direction as he sends it long towards Landers, but creeps out of play for a goal kick.
18, left over. East. Riley.
Higher, higher, Adisa. Break a line, speed up.
Here's
Up to the ball,
Gordon.
Riley.
A lot of players back.
Yep.
See Andre Dyke has come on for West Ham. Came on late against Manchester United as well and just assured things. Made sure the running for West Ham kept at a high tempo. And then Wosu praised Andre Dyke for coming on and keeping the energy intensity at a good level.
Let's go then, 4, please. Thank you. Stop the watch then. Yeah, but you still got to stop the watch. It's out of play.
Theron
Find us.
being
Find
it
us.
forward. Trying to win it back with an interception. See Dyke trying to have his first real touch, and his first touch there. Almost a pass to Adieli.
Just leave him, Wardy. Get in your shape. Drop on his toes. Drop on his toes.
Urgent to throw towards Landers, who's tussling with Cannaville there, and he's brought down.
Good Rio.
Marriott. Cannaville with the pressure from Dyke.
Stay connected, Justin. Stay in, stay in, stay in.
Barry loves it forward. Marriott quick to take the throw. Nice turn from Agustin. And Gordon. You can see Mintus making that run forward. Agustin, does he fancy one from range? Instead he'll float it out towards Mintus on that far side. Derby showing belief that they can get 2 late goals here. They just need to get that second. West Ham just need to do what they have done all game. And my word, what a strike that is. Just as I was saying, West Ham need to do what they do all game. You can't really stop that. And that's perhaps what Derby County have realised. Something spectacular is what is required to beat this robust West Ham defence. It was a brilliant strike from outside the box.
Ref, have a look. Off your shoulder, ref.
Cannaville, now Marriott. West Ham not really doing much moving, but they don't really need to. Well, that's probably why, because play is going to be stopped. So late on, and Derby have a player down injured. Still 3-0 up at Liverpool between themselves and Reading. We'll just go back to what happened earlier on in this second half. In the minute 75, there was Ajala in the right place at the right time to just caress it beyond the goalkeeper. Him and Adieli know how to link up for both the under-21s and the under-18s. You can see that understanding they've got between them there. And what an exciting duo going into next campaign for West Ham to have at their disposal, when you see the likes of Ollie Scholes now seeming to now potentially be a regular first-team player for Graham Potter. That then paves way for another wing-back. And Adieli seems to be his natural replacement.
Changing it up, back. On tail.
So play looks to resume shortly. And the Derby players perhaps having to be forced off due to a late injury. With a tad bit of camaraderie as he sees the player limp off West Ham deep down will be absolutely ecstatic that they've managed to get the job done away from home. As it's looking increasingly unlikely that Derby are going to be able to pull one back and also get that equaliser. Going towards Agustin. There's another substitution coming on. Chinaza and Wosu scored the winning penalty against Manchester United. A big reason as to why West Ham United are in this position right now. He comes on to just have his say in the remaining moments of the game. Must be so satisfying for Loris Coggins when you see all these players chipping in with their own part to play in this cup run. What a squad cohesion you must have. So away suit. 15 seconds before the 90-minute mark. It's just the one goal in this second half. And a bit of stoppage for some injuries. Can't imagine any added on time that's too extravagant. Only the two substitutions made by Coggins and then the Wosu and Andre Dyke.
2 jobs, Matt.
Here's Ajala. Forced back. Has to be careful, but my word, what confidence shown from Josh Ajala. Had 3 white shirts onto him, but just dealt with the ball immaculately. Here's Dyke. Here's Adieli just behind him. But that is when you want to be playing football towards the corner flag. Good intellect there from Andre Dyke. Fearon trying to nab the ball off of Dantel Hodges, who makes that run forward. Can Derby get a late goal here as they stretch it out towards that left-hand side, but a lot onto it for Mintus to have to stretch his run to. Still keeps it, but brilliant defending there from Adine. Didn't even need to break a sweat to win the ball back. Effortlessly done at the byline. Now Dyke. Tussling, allowing Derby to come forward. But here's Fearon. As West Ham look to now just enjoy the ball as they're moments away from their position in the final being confirmed. Largely down to that Josh Ajala brace. Derby starting to show great attitude now, as they will be disappointed in a strong position coming into this game when you look at the league tables. And of course, West Ham with a helping hand from Ajala. Who could be the difference here? Derby being allowed to play on. Masinde scooped over towards this left-hand side. He's in an offside position, and that will surely mean moments now from the final whistle being blown. Golombekis with the ball in his hand. Not anymore. And Wosu spreading it back towards Golombekis. Wosu just had to be wary there as he's in front of Mayers, but Adieli knew what to do. Another throw for West Ham as that clipped ball from Fearon just comes off a Derby head. So no need for Mayers to make those sprinting challenges where he covers about half of the pitch and then pulls off an immaculate challenge, but he's certainly seen some good defending at points. Oyabade has certainly caught my eye this afternoon, especially in that first half when Derby were adding pressure onto West Ham, which they haven't really been able to do in this second half period. But Oyabade was certainly an eye-catching player with his defensive work. And Jethro Medina as well, of course. Some of the stand challenges he's done have really helped West Ham break down the momentum. And that's another example of Oyabade and Medine linking up. And West Ham coming away with a free kick. So do, of course, subscribe to the West Ham YouTube channel. Do comment as well. Comment who you think your player of the match is. Do give the stream a like. For me, of course, Jethro Medina has been up there, Rayan Oyabade, but of course, I suppose an obvious one is Ajala. He has got the brace to realistically win this match for West Ham. But let's not discredit Josh Landers, of course, the player to score that second goal. And they've done enough. Josh Ajala's brace is what books West Ham into the final with Josh Landers as well, as he comes onto the pitch to celebrate with his colleagues. So West Ham get the job done away at Derby, and they have now booked a final place against Reading. It ends here. Derby County 1, West Ham United 3. And here were the goals that got the afternoon up and running. Medine with the assist, of course, was saying how good he has been defensively, but there he is, showing his attacking qualities as he fed it through towards Ajala, who you knew was going to find the back of the net. The sloppy back pass as Josh Landers pounced onto that opportunity, struck it quickly with his left. Harley Price had no thinking time, and just before the half-time break, Derby County managed to get one back through the ex-Hammer Agbada Kazizu. Ajala feeding it towards Adieli. The two players who have spent so much time playing with one another, working together down the left to seal the win for the Hammers. And what an afternoon it's been. Just like at the beginning of February against Manchester United, they get the job done in the Premier League Under-18 Cup. This will be the most satisfying of the lot as the final awaits them. Well, have a good rest of your day, everybody. Have a good week. It ends here. Derby County 1, West Ham United 3.